You're listening to The Right Side of the Rivers, hosted by Todd McCollum and Russell Dreyer. This show tackles public issues from a Pittsburgh point of view, offering common sense conversations, right-of-center perspectives, and a focus on the people, policies, and principles shaping Pittsburgh, Allegheny County, and Pennsylvania.
Hello again, everybody. This is welcome back to The Right Side of the Rivers. This is the official podcast of the City of Pittsburgh Republican Committee, and I am the chairman, Todd McCollum, joined as always by my vice chairman and good friend, Russell Dreyer. Russell.
Hey, Todd.
Welcome.
How are you?
I am well. How are you?
Great to see you again.
Likewise. Pretty fabulous show last time.
Absolutely.
Longtime friend of the committee and a general good human being, Len Iorio, with us, and he was joined by Mike Dell, pretty sharp guy with a lot of information, good numbers man. But we have a special show today for sure. A little change on the fly, but we're here, and we have a special guest. So why don't you bring him in? Russell?
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. My name is Russell Dreyer. Welcome back to the Right Side of the Rivers. Very, very special guest with us tonight, the boss of all bosses, our boss, Chairman Jason Richey. Jason is the chairman for the Republican Committee of Allegheny County. Jason's been on the job for, I want to say, maybe 7 months or so, 8 months. And when Jason sets goals out for us, Jason moves very, very quickly. So when Jason says, hey, we're going to do X, Y, Z, you better be ready to move. And he is plugging things in all around Allegheny County, standing up committees where we didn't have Republican presence or small presence to begin with. So Allegheny County is online and plugged in. And we are thrilled to welcome the chairman for the Republican Party of Allegheny County, Jason Richey. Welcome in, Jason.
Oh, thank you, guys. Thank you. Pleasure to be here. Todd, Russell, thank you for having me as a guest.
Well, welcome to the Right Side of the Rivers, Jason. Why don't you tell everybody, and again, we want to keep the inside baseball here, that we refer to the county committee as RCAC, the Republican Committee of Allegheny County, and you chair our parent organization. So you oversee all the community organizations within the county, committees within the county. So tell us how this came to be.
Well, as you guys know, about 3 years ago, I ran for governor of Pennsylvania. And one of the reasons I did that is because I was sick and tired of seeing City of Pittsburgh and Allegheny County on this continual population decline. Since the 1960s, people have been fleeing Allegheny County and the city of Pittsburgh. And that job loss and population losses and taxes going up has been one consistent theme that the Democrats have given us over the last 4 decades. And I said enough's enough. I'm a lifelong Pittsburgher. Want to be here. I raised my family here. I want my family and my kids to come back here. And so I stood up and put together a 67 county campaign. That campaign, I think, introduced a lot of great ideas for the party. Ultimately, I withdrew. And then an opportunity came when Sam DeMarco stepped down to run the Republican Party of Allegheny County. And I felt that was a great way to continue my goals and efforts of making sure that Pittsburgh reverses the population trend. We've lost 50,000 jobs just in the last 5 years in Allegheny County, and we need to reverse that. And that's my mission, and I'm going to make it happen.
So you mentioned Sam DeMarco. Sam was your predecessor and went off to work with Senator McCormick as the Southwest Regional Coordinator, I believe is his title. And we thank Sam for all his work, and you picked up the baton where he left off for sure.
When Sam took over, the committee was on life support, and so he brought it so that it had a pulse. But we really have to take it to a next step. If we want to take over, I mean, we have some horrible statistics that you guys know about. When I took over, we haven't won an election in the city of Pittsburgh in 95 years. I say we haven't even won dog catcher. County council or legislative branch of Allegheny County, we only have 2 of 15 members. When I took over, we only had committees in 50% of the entire county. And just for the listeners here, what a local committee means, that's your ground game. Those are the people that are in the churches, in the schools, and out in the community that are promoting the Republican Party. And they're the ones that door knock, they're the ones that find candidates. And that needs to be at 100%. We need to be, my goal when I said it from day one when I ran for this position and won the election, was that the Republican Party of Allegheny County be fighting for every block, every neighborhood, every house. And so we've went from 50% committees in the county to 98%. During the last 7 months, we have shrunk the registration advantage by 5% from Democrats to Republicans. And for the first time in history, and I know it's something we're going to talk about tonight, but we have candidates for every possible position that's open. And I'm not just talking, guys, about candidates that are putting their name on the ballot for the sake of showing that the Republicans have someone. That stuff is over. We have every single one of our candidates, and I've talked to almost every one of them in the last 3 or 4 days. They are fighting hard to win, and I expect in 10 days we're gonna shock the world a little bit from what I'm seeing and hearing.
Jason, absolutely. The trend is definitely our friend. With respect to Allegheny County and your work standing up committees, do you have some stories for us about maybe getting some committees started here or there across Allegheny County? I mean, obviously Allegheny County is huge, different strokes for different folks in different places. But what are some of the stories from sort of the trail, if you will, getting these committees stood up?
Yeah, so one of the problems, and it's actually a problem that Allegheny County faces, is that there's 140 municipalities in Allegheny County, and that's way too much government. That was for a time when Pittsburgh was one of the largest cities in the country. That was a time when Grand Street was actually Wall Street, and those days are long gone. And but we still haven't fixed how much government we have, and there's too much of it. And when people leave, and you keep the same amount of government, then that involves raising taxes. And when you raise taxes, more people leave. And it's a never-ending cycle that Allegheny County is stuck in. And so that we used to be, as a committee, we had one committee per allegedly all 140
municipalities.
And that's just not acceptable. I mean, that's not effective. That's not going to work. And so one of the first groups that we brought together was Fox Chapel, the Fox Chapel School District, which contains about 8 or 9 different municipalities. And, they basically had 8 or 9 non-functioning committees, and we brought them together, and I went to the meeting, and there were 75 people there, and the energy was palpable. And I'm like, oh my God, this is going to work. We needed in some places to bring together a lot of committees to create more energy and to allow more synergy where our committees could form subcommittees so that committee members could specialize on different tasks. So that was one experience, right, where you had some committees. But there were other places, Russell. One of the great examples is McKeesport. We haven't been in McKeesport since the 60s. And that somehow was acceptable, and it's not. The Republican Party, and when you have one party rule, like we have in the city of Pittsburgh, like we have in the city of McKeesport, that is a recipe for blight. That is a recipe for bad economics because the politicians there realize there's no competition. And we've seen that from the Soviet Union, et cetera. I mean, you can't have one party rule. That's never acceptable. And when we had our first McKeesport meeting and I was there's all these people coming in, and this one guy comes to the door, and I could see he was out of breath. He looked tired. I said, "Sir, are you okay?" And he said, "I'm fine." He goes, "I just walked 10 miles to get this meeting because I was not going to miss the Republican Party's return to McKeesport, even though my car broke down." And I think that's the kind of energy, Russell, that you're seeing throughout the county. We're seeing it in the city of Pittsburgh. And that's one of the reasons why I'm really optimistic for 10 days from now.
So
I'm sorry. I know you love that story, Jason, because you love the Mon Valley, and you're very happy with the steel deal in the Mon Valley and keeping steel there. Russell here was part of a committee organization as well, and I know he won't talk about it, but I will because he did a great job, and you're very happy about the Woodland Hills situation as well, I understand.
yeah, and just to build on sort of this concept, Jason, that you brought in is one of the goals. You just talked about 140 municipalities, so it's not realistic to have a committee in every municipality. So I know part of your goal for us in Allegheny County is to create these regional committees. Maybe you can just give us some context about what is a regional committee and how does that work?
Yeah, what a regional committee is, it brings a number of municipalities together, but the common denominator is their school district. And I just was at an event the other night. A lot of people, we all want to talk about running for Congress, running for this, running for that. One of the most important things that you can run for is school board, because that is the future of our children. And even in my school district in Quaker Valley, when you see some of the things that my kids, they may have like a day class, a day film on the importance of sexuality, and they're doing homosexual videos where the stuff's going on, or places like Mount Lebanon that I've been in, where they're literally advocating for third graders, whether they want to be a boy or a girl, and giving them that opportunity to make a decision at such a young age before they're even an adult on transitioning to another sex. And this kind of stuff's not fiction. Like, this stuff is actually happening in Allegheny County. And so, what we're doing is we're bringing these regional groups together by school board, so they have a common culture, but they're still responsible for making sure that our municipalities, have candidates. So whether it's, Edgeworth Borough Council or whatever in the Woodland Hills School District, we want to make sure that we have Republican candidates fighting for everything. But the idea too is, with some of these small municipalities, you just can't have 2 or 3 people showing up for a meeting. That kind of group's going to die. What we really need is bigger groups with energy. And then what we're trying to do in the Republican Party is we want our leaders to subdivide into, okay, you guys are in charge of fundraising. You 3 are in charge of social media. You 3 are in charge of finding us candidates for the next cycle. You are in charge of door knocking. You are in charge of getting out the infrequent voters and mail-in balloters. You are in charge of making sure that we have somebody at every precinct handing out a slate card on election day. And so when you do that, when you have that subdivision within your organization. The idea is that the chair during a meeting, what they really should be doing is asking those subcommittees to report, that they're not just talking. They're giving ownership to all of our committee people that are out there. And so that's the model, Russell, that we're looking for. But you need people for it. You need energy for it. And we're providing, maybe for the first time ever, the training needed to make sure that the Republican Party is successful. And we're going to double down on this. This is just year one. We know there's a lot more work to do, but I think that we're on a great track. The energy of our party has been fantastic, and we're going to continue to train. We're going to continue to work, and we're going to continue to bring new people into the party.
And I think that concept, what is unspoken there, is that it allows each individual committee person or committed Republican to work to their strength. So someone who doesn't have the physical capability to go walk steps and knock doors, or shy about knocking doors, or is uncomfortable about asking people for money, it gives them an opportunity to fit in. If you look at the list of responsibilities for committee people, you hand that to a new committee person and they can be overwhelmed. And you just try and say, well, no, just pick one or two of these things that you're good at. If there's enough of us, then you can work towards that. And, I know I would much rather, even going out in the rain and the snow, I would rather go out and knock doors and get petition signatures as opposed to somebody sitting in an office making robocalls to somebody, because I would rather have a door slammed in my face than 10 people hang up on me. So, but
there's definitely
it gives a chance to work to your strength.
Well, there's definitely strength in numbers, and I think Jason's concept for these regional committees actually fits perfectly for Allegheny County, because a stat that blows most people's minds is that Allegheny County has the most Republicans of any county in the Commonwealth. So when you get everybody organized in Allegheny County, working together, they talk about, especially for presidential elections, they talk about Allegheny County being the key that picks the door to the White House. Certainly with numbers, with the most Republicans in the Commonwealth in the county, this is definitely a recipe for success. Now, what is the number? Is it like 230,000 or 240,000 Republicans in there?
Yeah, Russell, I think both you and Todd are hitting the nail right on the head. Just, some of the things Todd said is, you're absolutely right. Like, not only does it allow people, just like a company, Todd, right, that, you can do what you're good at and you're specialized in that. The other thing, though, that it does, besides allows that specialization for what you're comfortable doing, it gives you some ownership. You shouldn't just be showing up at a meeting and being talked to and walk away. You should show up to any monthly meeting of ours and, have a responsibility that you need to get something done. Because when you have that, when you allocate responsibility and our chairs aren't just holding it to themselves, you get ownership and people want to work hard. Now, to Russell's point on where we're at, you're right, Russell. We have 300,000 Republicans, more than any other county in Pennsylvania. Allegheny County itself, by the way, has 1.3 million people, which is essentially the population of Maine. And geographically, we're bigger than a number of states. A lot of people don't think about that. I live in Swickley, and when I'm trying to go to one of our committee meetings in Elizabeth, it could be an hour, 20-minute drive just to get from one end of the county to the other. So we're a huge geographic region, huge population, and you're absolutely right. Like right now in the state of Pennsylvania, used to be not too long ago, there were 1 million more Democrats than Republicans. As we sit here today, we're at about 150,000 delta, give or take. So Allegheny County, if we can just get a little more shade of red, if we can just work a little harder, if we can start getting our candidates elected. Number one, as I mentioned in my opening monologue, I believe within 2 years, we can take control of the Allegheny County Council. We can elect a county executive and begin to bring common sense, conservative economic principles to bear, where we are having an efficient government, less regulation, less taxes, and we're bringing in new business. And we're booming this place because we have more natural gas under Pittsburgh than Saudi Arabia has oil. We have all the natural resources, hardworking people, beautiful landscape for tourism, and we can get this place rocking. But on a state and national level, if Allegheny County, and I urge any conservative Democrat, anyway, register Republican, independents, register Republican. Because if we can narrow that gap, one, we here in Allegheny County can make Pennsylvania red. But number two, if Pennsylvania goes red, if we put ourselves together with Ohio, Texas, Florida, on a national level, we can really make the country conservative. And so that's an exciting prospect. You, Todd, me, we're working our butts off for really like something that's really consequential to our entire country, if you think about it, in our state and our beautiful city. And what I tell people, and this is, if I can say anything to your audience, say anything to people of Pittsburgh, the Democratic Party is no longer, the party of John F. Kennedy, the party that we all, Dan Honorado, that we once knew. Okay. This is a far left party. This is a party that believes in things like allowing kids to transition their sex, mutilation of young children under the age of 18 before they even know what's going on. Just why you can't drink to a certain age, you can't vote to a certain age, you can't drive to a certain age, but you can change your sex when you're a little kid. Unbelievable. This is a party that believes in biological males being able to compete in sports against women. My mom was one of the advocates of girls basketball, one of the first head coaches in girls basketball in the WPIL. We've all been fighting for women's rights for a long time. And here we go, going into that world. And it's also a party that does no longer believes in union workers, in manufacturing, in energy. You just look at what the current regime has done. One, they've raised property taxes 40%. But worse is when U.S. Steel was on the line, and trust me, it would have died, but for what the Republicans did. It was going under. Many years ago when I ran for governor, Allegheny County Health Department would not approve permits to improve that plant. Governor Wolf wanted nothing to do with that plant. And then, so that was that U.S. Steel then took that multiple millions of dollars or billions of dollars that they were going to invest. They built a new plant in Arkansas, which we all remember. And then, just as they're about to go under, a white knight comes in Nippon Steel, willing to invest $12 billion in Pittsburgh, willing to bring in 12,000 new jobs. And Governor Shapiro, crickets. Sarah Innamorato, crickets. They wanted nothing to do with this. They didn't want to save those union jobs, those families that depend on those jobs, the suppliers that supply that plant, because of it may give off some pollution. And it's one of the cleanest mills in the world. And that's just the new far left order. And what I've said is the Republican parties come in, we are common sense. We also are now, and have been for a while, the party of the middle class. We're the ones that fight for those private union workers. We're the ones that fight for jobs. We're the ones that fight for energy and manufacturing. And so the maybe from when we were kids, the political parties have changed positions, and we need those moderate Dems out there that used to think they're a part of one party. We need them to register as Republicans. And there's a very simple saying I say, do not, and I say this right to the Democrats, do not feel bad about leaving the Democratic Party because the Democratic Party left you a long time ago.
Yes, it has.
Well, let's transition here because this is the last show before the election. So let's talk about some of these people who are going to come in and represent us on election day. And we wanted to hear from you to sort of put a bow on some of the county council candidates that we've had. But let's start at the state level here. We have Maria Batista and Matt Woolford. Can you take a couple minutes and talk about their importance as both the Superior Court judge candidate and Commonwealth Court candidate, respectively?
Yeah, so the appellate courts are extremely important in Pennsylvania because the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania doesn't have to take many cases, and it takes a very small percentage. So if something happens at the trial court level, in Allegheny County, it often does because all we have is Democratic judges. And unfortunately, some of them are great. Some, on the other hand, are very political, and some of them are unqualified. So these appellate judges are very important issues. Matt, I've known for a long time, supported me. He's from Erie, supported me in my governor campaign unconditionally. A very well qualified judge, very well qualified lawyer. I could not recommend him more. Maria's fantastic. I've never, Todd, I know you as a candidate for county council, you knock on doors, and we've got some hard-working candidates. Maria Batista is now on her second run of doing campaigning in all 67 counties in a very short period of time. And until you've done it like I have, you don't realize how big this state is and how hard it is. Maria, without question, is the hardest working candidate I have ever met, and I have met a lot of them. And I have no doubt that if she is elected as appellate court judge, she will bring that hard hitting work ethic for the people of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. So I'm a lawyer, and I don't say this lightly, but we have two of the finest appellate court candidates. You cannot go wrong.
And we've joked on the show, that Maria does not have a leased vehicle. There's no way it's possible she has a leased vehicle because she just puts entirely too many miles on a car for that to happen.
And I believe she was just, it's been a couple weeks now, but she was part of the Stacey Garrity tour around the state a couple weeks ago. So she has seen the state several times over, for sure.
Yes, and she is the Energizer Bunny for sure. So we have we've had the majority of the county candidates in. Why don't you tell us briefly about Brian Wisemantel and his run for sheriff?
Yeah, so this has been a great run, and I probably traveled the county more than any human being. I mean, since I've been chair, I have been to almost all 75 of our committees, and I only share that little note. I actually have more committees under me than our state chairman Greg Rothman does. So just to show you the bureaucracy and and that's after consolidation. And everywhere I go, I see Brian Wisemantel signs, and very often I see Brian Wisemantel. The man is everywhere. He is working hard. I think what people have to understand is that our sheriff, first of all, I don't think there's any dispute in the city of Pittsburgh, but also outside the city of Pittsburgh. We have a safety and public policy problem. This comes in large part because the Democrats do not support the police, in part. They, many of our leaders of this far left are for defunding the police, and many of them are for this no bail, which we saw, for instance, one Democratic magistrate judge didn't give bail, allowed somebody out without bail, and killed a person on the Montour Trail, murdered him. This is the state of the new Democratic Party, this far left socialist crew. And so, what Brian brings to the table is the sheriff's department. Well, it protects our parks, it protects our airport. It also has arrest authority, and could be utilized as the ability to supplement our police forces where needed in places, for instance, like the South Side, that's constantly under attack, day in, day night, but also other places throughout the county. And I think Brian would bring a fresh perspective to it.
Jason, the next candidate that we'd like to talk about a little bit is an at-large candidate, Mike Ambrescia. Give us a little bit of a backdrop about what at-large means for county council. And Mike has a challenger, Alex Rose, I believe. Tell us a little bit about Mike. What is an at-large county council person, and how the Democrats, air quotes, got this challenger for Mike?
So whether you're a Republican, an independent, or Democrat, voting for Mike Ambrescia is the most important thing that you can do on election day. And by the way, I just covered everyone, right? So one of the things that happened when I took over as chair of the party, I was very upset about this, is that I replaced Sam DeMarco as chair, and I ran for election and was elected by a large margin over my competitors. Mike Ambrescia then was appointed to be our at-large. So there are 15 county council people, but one of our fundamental principles that they brought to the county charter was that there would always be minority representation. And you guys may remember this from the past, pre-2000. There was always 3 commissioners, and you would always have 2 Democrats and a Republican, basically, because they would always be 2 Republicans and 2 Democrats fighting for 3 spots, guaranteeing minority representation. So the at-larges were a way of guaranteeing minority representation on county council, which is the legislative branch of the county in our new form of government. Well, the charter itself says that when the at-large people are elected, the top 2 will be elected. And the purpose of that was to make sure that the Republicans always have a spot, right? Because if there's always the top 2, there'll be a Democrat, Republican, there could be a third party, but when everybody's running, the third party is never going to be a Democrat or a Republican. So when we appointed Mike Ambrescia to run, who, by the way, very sophisticated guy, great guy, moderate Republican, runs one of the very first robotics companies, entrepreneur, just the kind of person you'd want to have in county council. The Democrats, who have a monopoly on both our county and our city government, said he has to run for re-election. And I said, no. He gets to fill Sam DeMarco's term because the charter says the top 2 will be elected when they run. And there's only 1 spot available because Bethany Hallam, who's far left socialist, controls the Democratic spot. Till Bethany's spot's open, Mike doesn't have to run again. Well, the Democratic Party told me to go pound salt. So then we filed a lawsuit. And of course, every single judge in the common pleas court is a Democrat. We lost. We lost at the Commonwealth Court level. And then we had the liberal Supreme Court, and we also lost. Now, okay, so Mike's running. And one of the things that came from the court proceedings was that the Democratic Party is not allowed to run for our at-large spot because they already have Bethany Howe. So then the Democratic Party played a game where they took a guy, this guy Alex Rose, who is a registered Democrat. He then suddenly becomes a registered independent. And by the way, this guy's background is he's a communist. Okay, he is to the left of Bethany Howe, if you can even envision it. And so this guy is now running in under the Labor Party against Mike. And there is, first of all, it's outrageous. It's unlawful. I think everyone in our county should be for the two-party, at least a two-party system. I would hope they vote for it. But here's the rub, is that Allegheny County has an election board, and it's made up of the two at-large members and the county executive.
The executive.
And yeah, and so if Alex Rose were to win, you'd have Bethany Hallam, socialist. You would have Sarah Murado, socialist. And you'd have Alex Rose, communist, making all the decisions about anything that would happen in any Allegheny County election. That's scary. And when they go into private session, the Republican Party wouldn't even know, or anybody would know, what's happening. So if you're out there listening to this podcast, whether you're conservative, Democrat, Republican, whatever, you got to get behind Mike and Brazier. Look them up, give them $10, tell your friends, text, email. This is super important for the future of our county. What the Democrats are trying to do, and I know you guys have been fighting the fight in the city, they're trying to make sure, just like in the city, they have every spot, every control, and that the Republicans that have nothing, that there's no opposition. And here, we're not just talking about conservative Democrats, not at all. We're talking about the far left taking over a full monopoly of the county and of the city. So everybody needs to be working hard for Mike and Brazier. And I know I'm doing everything I can.
Absolutely. Let's jump to our next race with Mary Jo Wise for County Council District 1. This looks like could be a very competitive race for us. I would just say, having looked at all the races, I would say every Democrat running is vulnerable. So things are looking really good for us. But specifically with the Mary Jo Wise County Council District 1 race, Jason, give us some information about Mary Jo and that district.
Yeah. So first of all, I like to refer to this district or Mary Jo as the unicorn, because this does not exist in Allegheny County, but District 1 County Council is, guys, now I want you to hold on to your seats. It's R+4. That meaning that the registration actually favors Republicans. So that is positive number one. Mary Jo's husband, Joe, ran for this seat 4 years ago, and he was favored to win. And 3 weeks before the election, he died of COVID, and as I understand, it was a direct result of the shot. That's what I've been told. Don't have it, but he died of COVID during the pandemic. And Democrats then went to the polls saying, well, you can't vote for a dead guy. You can't vote for a dead guy. You can't vote, which is false. It's a lie. You can vote for a dead guy. And
we've seen
he
it happen.
lost.
We've proven that.
We've seen it happen in Penn
Yeah,
Hills.
he lost because he passed away. And I'm so proud of Mary Jo for stepping up, doing something that she knew her husband would be proud of. Never give up, the determination. She's extremely well qualified candidate. She's a supervisor herself at Moon Township. She's a professional. She has a human resources accounting job at a major company. And we are just so lucky to have her. I think the people of Allegheny County will be lucky to have her. And I think she's very in her. Of course, her opponent is a far left lunatic. I think the people of Moon Township are smarter than that. They know actually both candidates are from Moon. They know that. And so if we can get the people from North Hills, Findlay, to come out, I feel really good about Mary Jo's chances. And she's working her ass off.
So another person we have unfortunately haven't had a chance to get on the show here is Chris Lochner in District 2, which I believe is the northwest corner of the county. If I'm right about that, but fill us in on Chris.
Yeah, so Chris is this district, which is District 3. I think it's our firewall guys, man. Like when you look at our committees that are out there, Chris is running in West Deer, Hampton, Shaler, and Fox Chapel. And you remember I told the story at the beginning about Fox Chapel having 75 people. Shaler committee running solid. Hampton committee's been solid for a really long time. Our West Deer chapter actually won an award, and they're door knocking like crazy out there. And Chris is working hard. Chris was a supervisor for Hampton Township, so he's well versed, and he's done it for decades, right? And so he's well known throughout that district. As someone that people lean on for advice because he's been out there for so long, and he understands, getting the potholes filled and what local government needs to do and how to efficiently do it without raising your taxes like the Democrats just did, where they raised everybody's taxes 40%. So Chris is like, absolutely. I mean, Mary Jo brings from the professional side, Chris really does. And also Mary Jo brings, her local supervisor experience in Moon. Chris has been a manager of Hampton Township for a long, long time. Great addition to the county council, and I do believe Chris will win. You got me on tape.
We like that.
Good
we
news.
Like that a lot. Bob Dodotto in District 4. We haven't met him yet either on the show. Why don't you take 2 minutes and talk about Bob?
Yeah, so Bob, incredibly charismatic. If you met him, has a finance degree, accounting degree, also a supervisor for North Fayette. So he brings it all. Professionalism. He brings, his local township experience. Now, I got interviewed for an article on this, and it was in the paper. And think about this, even the paper's covering it. Bob Dodotto, and this is North Fayette, South Fayette, Montour, McKees Rocks, more or less. Bob Dodotto is incredibly out fundraising his opponent. His opponent, who is doing nothing, he's not knocking on doors. I've heard he's not even putting up signs. He requires other people to do it because he's so lazy. He's the chair of county council. His opponent is the one that orchestrated and made sure that your property taxes or all the listeners' property taxes went up 40%. He's the person who's responsible for the 50,000 job losses that have occurred. And if you want to put up signs, he's not working hard on county council either. He's not knocking on doors. He's not working hard on county council. So if everyone out there wanted to do one thing, it's to send a clear message that this Democratic Party destroy our county, destroy our city, needs to go away. Vote Bob Dodotto. This guy's working hard out there, extremely qualified. I'm extremely impressed. He will be a fantastic county councilman.
Okay, yeah, and District 4, Bob Dodotto, and District 1, Mary Jo Wise, they I believe they share a lot of, they overlap a little bit. So the strength for Mary Jo's district and the strength of Bob as a candidate and his ability to fundraise, I think speaks well for both of those races. So the next candidate for county council is Mike Dell for County Council District 8. Now, Mike was on the show with us, and he was able to get under the hood and really let us take a look at the county finances. Just a great guy, and he's working hard too. So tell us a little bit about Mike Dell.
Yeah, so Mike Dell, what I love too, you're going to see this as a theme of our county council. We need to elect them all because I think they're just such a good team. And Mike's our brainiac, right? He is our guy, like you said, that gets under the hood. And one of the things that, because remember, the Post-Gazette really doesn't cover the important issues. And one of the things Mike is hot about, and he should be, when Sarah Namarato took over, and just so people know what their 40%, they've blown through the entire 40% tax increase on housing immigrants, given people welfare and salaries in the county jail. They've blown through the money by quadrupling her staff and giving every county worker a raise. Okay. Money gone. So they're gonna, despite what she says, because she's lying when she says she's, with her budget report, they're going to raise taxes again. And one of the things that Mike brings out is one, that they have to raise taxes because they don't have enough money. But on top of that, the Democrats are doing a facade on these government workers, giving them raise, almost like a payout for their vote, because they are completely, and have been for years, underfunding the pension for county workers. They pay in about 10%. And according to Mike, if you did that in the private sector, you'd go to jail. And the pension for our county workers that they've been paying into for a long time is heavily underfunded. I've talked to Mike about this. He sent me slides on it. He sent me articles on it because I want to know. And this is the kind of guy you need in county council. Someone that can get under the hood, that's going to go through all the numbers, all the details, and bring out facts so that we can improve Allegheny County and get Pittsburgh on the right direction. I talked to him. He feels really good about what's going out there. Our new committees are working hard for him. He's out in the east. Monroeville committee, much improved. Plum committee, much improved. Woodland Hills, we have, as we talked about, a lot of energy there. And so places that we haven't had before. So we're really excited about his chances. And I know he's another candidate that's really working hard.
Patrick Provins from the Mon Valley, and I mentioned earlier, I know your affection for the Mon Valley and steel there, and he was on the show talking about his Mon Valley background and his background in public safety. How do you see the race in the Mon Valley there with Patrick in District 9?
In District 9, my affection for the Mon Valley stems from the fact that I grew up in Aliquippo. I watched J&L Steel die as a child. And I've watched my friends' families have a hard time finding a place to get food. I watched my good friends in my classes leave Pittsburgh and just disappear from my life. I watched when I went to my games, Little League, baseball, football, wrestling, and my friends' dads weren't there because they're working a steel job in Cleveland. Pain. And what every person in the Mon Valley, and frankly, Allegheny County should be upset about is when U.S. Steel was about to die, Democrats did nothing. They did nothing. And they did worse than nothing. Joe Biden made the outrageous assertion that Japan was a national security threat and blocked it. And there were Republicans out there like myself, Kim Ward, certainly Senator McCormick, advocating President Trump to save the Mon Valley so that same pain didn't happen. And President Trump came through. And I was there and I watched the steelworkers so thankful for their job that now will be there for generations, as we have billions and billions and billions of new dollars invested in Allegheny County and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of new jobs. So I say to the people out in the Mon Valley, the Democratic Party does not care about you. And Republicans do. Again, we are the party of the middle class. The Democrats are the party of the woke. They're the party of the academic. And frankly, they're the party of the rich and the elite. And so Patrick Provins, now guys, I'll throw this out there at you. This guy, before I came in, was, I recruited Mary Jo, but I saw we didn't have anyone out there. And I recruited Patrick. I knew he could do it, and he had to do a write-in campaign. He won 700 write-in votes. I think that could be a record in Allegheny County history. And when I'm out there, I see the people moving to the Republican Party. And I think, Patrick is capturing that energy. And I think he has a real chance to win, guys. And I think it's something that's not on a lot of people's radar. But the Mon Valley, and if we can turn the Mon Valley, which I think is where you're seeing a lot of voter change to Republican, because they see that we have their back. They see that we're the party of the middle class. And none of those people out there are woke. Okay. None of them are woke. And so I think he has a chance to win. I know that we have to continue to work hard in the Mon Valley. And I can assure you, as your chairman, and if I'm fortunate enough to get reelected again at the reorganization that comes up, we are going to have a laser focus, because we turn the Mon Valley red, you turn Pennsylvania red, you turn the country red. I'm so bullish on the Mon Valley. We may even see a mayor of Clairton that is a Republican. First time ever.
That would be very cool. And I believe Patrick has a day of action coming up this Saturday. So if you're watching live, and we ask you to get involved with him, help him out there. And because, Jason, that beard needs to be on county council. There's no doubt that beard has to be on county council.
I told him, I said, you guys shave that beard. Patrick said, no. He said, that beard needs on county council. I backed off at that point.
Absolutely. He said he trimmed a little bit off of it. He did.
All right. That's good.
Hey,
compromise.
Hey,
see, it shows right there.
Fear the beard. I mean, that's a thing, right? Fear the beard.
It was at one time, and he's a comeback. Hey, Jason, businessman and friend of ours, great human being, Len Iorio in District 12. Tell us about his race.
Yeah, so another guy that I recruited to come out. Len, as you guys know, is a great human being, has a lot of marketing, advertising experience. And if you notice the trend here, all of our candidates have a little something different to add. And so I'd love to see them all on county council. I've been watching this race. I think that the Dems are sleeping. This is, and the Dems are sleeping in a lot of these races because they don't respect us. They don't understand this is not the same Republican Party you're used to competing against. We're coming at you. And I know Len's produced some commercials. He's been making phone calls. He's out in the community. And I think Todd, call me crazy. I think he has a chance. I think it's a chance to win this thing. And
certainly his message, message writes itself with the gentleman who negotiated this tax increase with the executive, for sure.
Yeah, and by the way, you guys know you know Len. I know I'm not allowed to swear. He's not going to take any bull crap on city council. So he's our guy that's going to call it out. And so I love our whole team that we have, because you can think of them all individually, right? But we just went around the horn, and they would be a great group. And let me be very clear to every listener you have, okay? Our goal, full stop, is in 2 years, we are going to win county executive and we are going to take over the Allegheny County Council. And it starts this year, right? It starts this year. We've got to pick up seats. We're down 13-2. We need to keep Mike and Brazier. We've got to pick up seats. But this isn't just like a goal of some party. This is the people of Allegheny County, the people of Pittsburgh are counting on us to do this because we've got to turn the trajectory of lost population and lost jobs around. It is unsustainable for another decade. Unsustainable if we want to continue to be a major city in the world.
Jason, you've put together first class candidates for county, and all these folks are ready to go on day one. And we actually have one more candidate who's running for County Council District 13 who's in the studio with us.
Who's that? Who's that, Russell? I don't know. Who are you talking about?
Everyone's great friend and someone that wears several different hats within the Republican Party himself is Todd McCollum here. And Todd is running in District 13. It's a very interesting district. Todd has a lot of a city, sort of a city slice of Allegheny County, but also works back along the Ohio River a little bit down towards Bellevue. So we know what Todd brings to the table. Todd's ready to go on day one. And for those of you obviously that have been listening a while, Todd's also the chairman for the Republican committee in the city. So Todd has met with a lot of people. I've been with him on doors myself. We've been to a lot of events together. Allegheny County will be better with Todd McCollum on county council. That I can guarantee you. So Todd, the finish line is less than 2 weeks away here. Let's keep pounding it out. Do you have anything to add on your race and what you're seeing out there?
No, I appreciate the party for its confidence in me in this special election, and Jason, all your support, and the confidence that you've showed in me to run as a candidate, as well as being the chairman of the committee. And I'll let you. I'm interested in what you think about this race as you see it right now.
Well, as you know, first of all, Todd is very proud to appoint you to this special election. There's nobody better that I could have selected in your district. Your commitment, lifelong commitment to public safety, and again, talk about our team, right? You're bringing a nice public safety component into it, something that the city of Pittsburgh and Bellevue need. And so I know you're working hard, and I love seeing that in my candidates. One of the things as a committee, we see people working hard. We're going to reward it. And as you know, we have some surprises coming up, and I think you have a really good chance to win. I just encourage you, as well as all of our other candidates. I know you're tired. I know you've been working hard. But there's only 2 weeks left. So you want to run through the finish line. You want to sprint through that finish line. And even on election day, right? Until the bell goes off, be at some precinct, shaking hands and talking to people. And if you do that, you're going to win.
Well, I appreciate it. Why don't you take 2 minutes and put a bow on this for us? The election, we talked a lot about the election. We didn't have time to talk about current events, but why don't you put a bow on the election, because this will be the last show before Election Day.
How much time do I get?
Oh, well, 5-star producer Missy here is really waving a finger at us. Why don't you keep it at 2 minutes?
All right. So this is a sentimental moment for Pittsburgh and Allegheny County. We have to go on a different track. I don't think any reasonable person out there could possibly think that city of Pittsburgh or the Allegheny County is headed on the right track. Losing 50,000 jobs in 5 years, losing the systemic population year after year, seeing the lawlessness that's on our streets, seeing the lack of growth and people just wanting to leave. And the answer to all that by the Democrats is let's not support the police and let's raise taxes 40% is outrageous. And what we are offering on the Republican Party is a great platform of common sense. We want to cut regulation. We want to bring in new businesses. We want to support the police, bring back public safety and blight. And I think we can do it with the candidates we have. We spent a lot of time talking about our county council candidates, but we have 3 incredible city council candidates in Tracy Lager, and Aaron Coper and Jacob Dumont. And I'm gonna tell you guys, like, we need to end the 95-year streak where we don't win in the city. If anybody out there thinks that it's a good idea that one party should just rule for a century, and when things go behind closed doors, there's no opposition there, you're out of your mind. And we are bringing to you good candidates in Tracy, Jacob, and Aaron that can win. They're working very hard to earn your vote. And I strongly suggest, whether you're Democrat, Independent, or Republican, to consider our candidates very strongly, if for no other reason, to make sure there is some opposition to what's been going on in the city of Pittsburgh. It will be good for the entire city. And then we talked about Brian. We also are supporting a common pleas candidate in Michelle Santacola. While there are some good judge candidates, we really feel Michelle, she's the only candidate that was a prosecutor, a defense attorney, and a judge. And there's no one else like her. And moreover, she worked in Governor Corbett's Attorney General office. Governor Corbett speaks very highly of her. So we're asking our listeners, you're going to go in, you have 8 votes to vote for one. And we're asking to just vote for Michelle. And then finally, there is a retention ballot. You need to flip your ballot over. You're going to see a bunch of retentions. And our party is asking that everyone vote no. The Supreme Court, to everyone, these Supreme Court people are the people that locked you in your homes. These are the people that destroyed businesses. Remember, Governor Wolf only had emergency powers for 21 days, and they gave it to him forever. Outrageous. And they have a number of crazy rulings that they've done. They've done a number of horrible political election rulings that have been completely one-sided toward the Dems. And finally, you know, we just had a No Kings rally. And what's ironic about that, the same people that took away, think about what Kings do. They take away your liberty. They take away your freedom. They're just one person rule and they stay there forever, right? So Democrats just had this No Kings rally, yet they want you to retain people who take away liberty, take away freedom, ruin election results, and they want them to stay on for another 10 years so that they have a 20-year term, essentially a lifetime term, just like a king. It's time to give them a term limit and get some new people in there. So vote no.
All right, Jason, that
wraps it up.
Yeah, that's a pretty strong finish there. We appreciate you coming on. Russell, go ahead. You wanted to throw the socials out.
Sure, I could take us out. Jason, thank you again for giving us a look behind the curtain at Allegheny County, the politics of Allegheny County, all the candidates in all their races. If the audience would like to find out more about what we do here in the city of Pittsburgh, they can certainly find us at PGH GOP Committee. That's PGH GOP Committee on X, Facebook, and Instagram. And our 5-star producer, Missy, will have all the links to the Republican Committee of Allegheny County as well in the show details. So It has been a real pleasure to have Jason, the boss of Allegheny County, with us on the show.
Jason, thanks a bunch. We
Yeah.
had a little audible at the line of scrimmage there for sure, and we hope you get well there with your injury that kept you from coming in studio today. But everybody was up to the task, and you're first person to do it remote, so pretty proud of that. That this worked out for everybody here, and everybody got to hear from you personally. So. We will see everybody and you, Jason, on Election Day.
Yep, absolutely. I want to thank you guys for having me on. I'm so proud of you for having this podcast, getting the good word out about what's really going on in the city of Pittsburgh and Allegheny County. I want to thank Missy for putting together a professional organization here. Very proud of all of you.
Hey, thanks a bunch.
Thanks, Jason.
That'll wrap it up, everybody. Once again, for my co-host, Russell Dreyer, I am Todd McCollum. This is the official podcast of the City of Pittsburgh Republican Committee, and we call it The Right Side of the Rivers. See you on Election Day, everybody. Take care.
Thanks for tuning in to The Right Side of the Rivers. We appreciate you spending your time with us as we talk about the issues that matter to Pittsburgh, Allegheny County, and beyond. Be sure to visit us online at pittsburghrepublicans.com for more updates, events, and ways to get involved. And don't forget to follow us on social media. We're on X, Facebook, and Instagram at PGHGOP Committee. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and stay on the right side of the rivers.